We should be going, and we are live. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Sorry for the late hour. Technical difficulties. But
Getting this stream going. Getting this stream going was like driving a car over a fucking over a bridge, over a fucking suspension bridge that is breaking apart. Although that's too fucking ridiculous of a comparison. Sorry, babe.
Tonight we are stepping away. I guess we are stepping away from the horror, and we might be stepping away from the trash fire. Although I don't know, my partner in crime might disagree with me on that one. If Just Cause is a trash fire, for the uninitiated, Just Cause is a movie from 1995 with an all-star cast that cinephiles and cinephiles have seemed to have forgotten. And you would think with this cast that it would get somewhat mentioned, but no one ever talks about this movie.
It's weird because there is a massive fucking talented cast in this, but like Jen says, it's kind of like, is it the red-haired stepchild of 90s thrillers, Jen? Would you say that?
I'm kind of, because I don't think we're being over dramatic, because for those of you who have never seen the movie Just Cause, let me give you a rundown of some of the people in this cast. First, you have 007 himself, Sean Connery. You have Lawrence Fishburne. You have Ed Harris. You have the super underrated Blair Underwood, and you also have some less big names, but still pretty big names of Kate Capshaw and also Ned Beatty. I mean, this movie is packed with talent.
Yeah, I was shocked because I mixed up this movie with a movie based on a Michael Crichton story called Rising Sun. With Connery and Wesley Snipes, and this is totally different. And at first, I was like, "Oh shit, am I kind of fucking? Am I assuming? Oh yeah, it's Sean Connery teamed with one black actor. Did I fucking reveal myself as a closeted racist? But no, it's just this movie's been buried. this movie's been kind of just fucking hidden away, and yeah, I can kind of see why, but I think it's a bit unfair because there is some good in this. There's a lot of good in this movie, but there's a lot of fucking silliness going on as well. And this movie doesn't know what it wants to be, and I think we'll get into that as we go over and discuss it.
Yes, I would agree with you on that. See, now I'm going to lay my cards on the table really early on here. This is a movie that I loved. I will acknowledge it is problematic, especially our third act. We take a sharp turn in genre, tone, and also what the message of the movie is trying to say. But what about you, Marty? Because this was your first time. You were a Just Cause virgin. Would you say that we really should have done this on our Trash Fire show?
I think it's just Indiana Jones's hat under the fucking door from the category of a trash fire. And I mean by a narrow margin, because look, as fucking bonkers as this movie is, it's no orphan first kill. And look, I'll take anything that isn't an orphan first fucking kill, okay?
Oh, fuck you. But see, for me, I can acknowledge there's a lot of flaws with the movie, but did I oversell? Because I was talking to you about this movie for quite a while before we actually watched it today. Did I oversell the performances? Because I'm telling you that the Blair Underwood, Ed Harris, it's not even Sean Connery. He's good in it, but he's very restrained and held back. The ones that are shining in this movie are Ed Harris, Blair Underwood, and Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, they just are giving so much, and Ed Harris is just going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, Ed Harris is like fucking. He straddles the line between John Doe from Seven and the fucking Joker from Batman. I mean, him and another character who we'll get to later on. These guys would be more at home in Arkham fucking Asylum in a Batman comic than in a regular fucking correctional facility. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that, but I still think they're good, and I think that's not over the top. Well, maybe a little bit over the top, but not in the bad sense. It works for what they have to do for this movie, and also this movie. I guess one of the problems that you noticed is this movie, because what this movie is about is, among other things, capital punishment. Sean Connery plays a lawyer who is vehemently against capital punishment, and he gets a person who's Blair Underwood, who's on death row, to say, come on and help me because I didn't do it. He's accused of raping and killing this little white girl out in Florida, and he's accused because he's black is the only reason that he's been convicted and on death row, and that is how Sean Connery gets entangled in all this. And the movie beginning, you could say this movie really is a stance against capital punishment, but by the end of it, due to the course of certain plot points, it kind of turns it over a little bit.
Well, honestly, I felt the director was going, "Ha, gotcha, you pinko liberals." It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Well, I mean, but I think, especially for the time, the 90s, capital punishment was a hot ticket issue. And I find it very interesting that by the end of this movie, maybe the capital punishment is what the movie first portrays. Because at the beginning, you think this is going to be strongly against capital punishment.
Yeah. I was like, as the movie was going on, I was thinking of like a fucking Time to Kill, where you have Matthew McConaughey fucking trying to defend Samuel L. Jackson. And it's like, it's fucking cut and dry kind of thing. But then the fucking, this movie throws so many fucking curveballs at me. It's like I'm in a batting cage with one of those baseball robots that has gone fucking awry. It's just like, okay, Blair Underwood, he's been persecuted by the town, but there's something off about him. But wait, the cops are really fucking shady and aggressive, but they have evidence. But wait, the lawyer who was representing him was like, well, if he hadn't gotten the chair, I would have been out of business. It's like, okay, what the fuck? It keeps on going, but wait, there's more. I mean, this isn't Shyamalan levels of what a twist, but it's very fucking close, my dear.
That's a fair thing. But see, now again, I put my cards on the table. I don't mind it. I'm not angry. I like the twists and turns, even as we go into the ending of the movie. I really like the twists and turns in this movie. And like you said, we don't jump a shark, but we jump a bridge with a kid and Blair Underwood.
We don't jump a shark, but we jump a bridge and we fight an alligator. Okay, and also, hello TMC.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Hi,
you're
TMC.
okay.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Acknowledge that.
Go on. What were you saying, babe? Sorry, I cut across you.
No, you didn't cut across me. We're not in great hands tonight. Jen is driving the car, and Marty's a lot better at this than I am.
Well, no, in fairness, Jen, you're still a better driver than Kate Capshaw in that fucking last act of this movie.
You better floor it. Although I love the line in it. You better floor it, bitch. Blair Underwood, I don't fucking care. I love that man. I will say it right now. That man does not get his flowers.
Hold up 2 seconds. As well, guys, this is going to be a spoiler-filled fucking review as well. So if you haven't seen this movie and you don't want it spoiled, check it out. Come back later, because Jane is going to be spilling all the fucking tea on this movie. But yeah, as you were saying, Blair Underwood.
Blair Underwood does not get his flowers, but let's rewind a little bit because you brought up a very thing. Let's go back to how this movie starts. And like I said, the initial premise is that Sean Connery, who's married to Kate Capshaw, is very vehemently against the death penalty. He's a lawyer, and sometimes he helps prisoners, get out of their circumstances. And we see Blair Underwood, get picked up, and he's accused of raping and murdering this little girl. And he gets picked up before we get kind of an 8 years later, but before the 8 years later, he gets picked up and he gets beaten by the police, a white police, and Lawrence fucking Fishburne. And oh my God, do I fucking love Lawrence Fishburne as well. I can never decide who I love more in this movie, Lawrence Fishburne or Ed Harris or Blair Underwood. They're all giving such good stuff. But you see him and he's being beaten within an inch of his life with the white police officer. And he also and then you see that Lawrence Fishburne comes in and you think, oh, he's gonna stop it, which I really liked.
I do.
Anthony.
Hey Anthony, I do. The ambiguity of this movie, again, it gets a bit ridiculous. As I said, it throws so many curveballs. You think you're in a batting cage with one of those haywire fucking baseball machines. But it is clever in some ways, and in other ways, it's like, I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like, say about between 45 and 60% sure of what was going on, and it's like you're wondering, is Lawrence Fishburne doing this because he's an asshole cop, or because does he genuinely believe this is the killer? I mean, the premise and the location is it's a hick town, it's a backwater town, and
Florida.
it's like, this is, we've seen these movies before, we've seen these situations before. African American gets a shit end of the stick because it's a close knit fucking hey shit kicker kind of town, and it's tale as old as time. So you're kind of going, okay, this guy had no fucking chance from the bounce. It's a backwoods redneck town, and that's why he's getting persecuted. And I don't know, they do play off that to an extent, but also they do leave enough breadcrumbs to make you go, okay, well, is this a misdemeanor of justice? It's or is it genuine? It's interesting, but they do take it a bit too far, and they do go like there is such a thing as telling a story with subtlety, and this loses that about halfway through.
It does, but you clocked it, and I wonder if audiences back in the 90s, I saw this when I was a kid, and I didn't clock it. I was actually kind of surprised, but when we were watching it, you clocked what was going on, and I don't want to ruin it. We won't get to the spoiler part yet, although I'm sure people just hearing us talk probably are already clocking it in like you did. But you clocked in pretty quickly what was going on. But I love the line where Blair Underwood is talking to Sean Connery, and he goes, I didn't do it. I know you think he's a little too slick, but I love when he does it. I think that's some great acting. And the movie, to its credit, does say Lawrence Fishburne tells Sean Connery, I just had a bad feeling about old Bobby Ray, and it wasn't just me. It was me and every man in this town. He just didn't feel right. So the movie doesn't maybe do it well enough, but it does do it a little bit.
Yeah, I like the issue I had with fucking with Blair Underwood's character. Again, fantastic actor, fantastic performance, but I was getting very much an Edward Norton Primal Fear kind of vibe off him. If anyone's seen that movie, it's a fantastic movie, but I was getting that like there's a duality to this individual, and like, there's definitely some kind of facade or kind of
Darkness.
persona that's put up to disarm Sean Connery and other people, and I got that from the bounce, because he's there in his cell and he's curled up, and he's speaking like kind of a good old boy, and then he sits up on the table and then the switches are flipped, and he goes
Hmm.
to a lot more kind of an educated and elegantly spoken kind of individual. And I'm like, okay, there's something up here with this, going from this kind of like, this very kind of subdued, dare I say, kind of childlike individual who's sitting in the corner of his cell, to this very, very well spoken and intellectual individual. And I'm like, okay, there's something going on with this character here. Whether or not he did it, I don't know, but there's alarm bells going off and there's flags going up.
I would agree with that, and but it kind of worked. But to play devil's advocate here, I think it kind of works in the movie's favor because you're put off by it, and like you said, you're being thrown so much information, and you do know the movie does. It's not Blair Underwood lying. You do see a white cop and Lawrence Fishburne, beating the living fuck out of him to get a confession out of him, and you see Lawrence Fishburne take the gun and play fucking Russian roulette. I can't get away from Russian roulette this week.
No, you fucking can't. Between Lawrence Fishburne and Lance Henriksen fucking playing Russian roulette, like, you're gonna you're gonna have to fucking do another Russian roulette movie or show after this.
But you weren't completely sure. You were pretty sure, but about the fact that the movie, you weren't 100% that he did do it or didn't do it.
I wasn't, because now later on, as stuff was going on, I was slowly putting it together. But again, the ambiguity of the cop's behavior, the ambiguity of Ned Beatty, his defense lawyer, as Ned Beatty says, Jesus, can you imagine if he hadn't gotten the chair, what would have happened to me? I'm like, yeah, they're setting up that this guy was fucking goosed from the bounce. His
Yeah.
fence wasn't all there. The fucking town hated him. And it was clever as well. It was clever that they were able to make it they were able to make it ambiguous enough, because they gave us other African American characters who suspected him. If it had been an all white kind of town, or an all white kind of cast of reserved characters, for example, obviously you've Lawrence Fishburne, but you have the teacher who spotted him, and she's like an African American character, and it was just, that works as well, because that plays into your mind. Well, maybe it isn't a race thing, but I just didn't like that I didn't mind all the curveballs, but I wish they'd been a bit more subtle.
I get that. I don't think this movie was trying to be subtle, because we do bring up affirmative action. Actually, Blair Underwood tells, and I think that the Sean Connery is supposed to represent the audience, because when he initially meets Blair Underwood, he's talking about Lawrence Fishburne, and he uses a derogatory term and stuff, and Sean Connery's eyes just gets big, almost like a child, and he goes, "You mean he's black?" And I think that was supposed to be a mic drop moment, and I think for the audience too, like, Sean Connery assumed that the officers he was talking about were white, and it was like a mic drop moment when Blair Underwood goes, "No, he's black." And he goes, this is the new South. It's called affirmative action. There's some stuff, like, the movie doesn't exactly know where its stance is on, but there is some heavy political undertones in this movie. It just not be going where you think it is.
Again, it's just weird though. It's like veering onto both lanes and doesn't know which lane it wants to stay in. And again, look, I get trying to be unbiased, but when you keep hopping the fence back and forth, you just look more like an asshole. I just, I'm not, no criticism to the director. He's trying to say something, but for the love of me, I don't know what that is, like,
I don't either, and I love the movie, and I don't even know. I think he's saying capital punishment is a good thing.
No, look, no, okay, right. All brass tacks down. I think he's saying that there are elements to capital punishment, that some people need to be put down because there are monsters out there. But the system is so fickle and so kind of mired with bureaucracy and everything. Like they even go into discussing stuff that happened with the wife on her case, that it is so easy for genuinely innocent people to get caught up. And when it muddies the water and it makes it that more of a kind of hot topic, hot button issue to kind of discuss. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, some people do need to get the chair or the injection, but in other cases, that mightn't always be the case. There might be someone innocent who ends up falling through the cracks and ends up getting caught in this. And I think I think he's trying to discuss that, and I think he's trying to fucking point out both aspects of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is they're diametrically opposed as ever living fuck.
Yeah, it is a bit problematic. And then we also are jumping genres, because while we're having, a talk about affirmative action, in our next scene, Sean Connery goes and meets Lawrence Fishburne, and we go from kind of this political kind of discussion to just back to a crime thriller, a whodunit thing. And I love, it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie is, well, first he meets the white cop that beat Blair Underwood, and the white cop, shows that he's an angry guy, and he takes Sean Connery's hand and squeezes it and lets him know, come on and fuck with me, asshole. You might be a college educated man, but come on and fuck with me. And then he talks to the teacher, and you got that really great scene of the teacher saying how haunted she is, and how Sean Connery coming up and bringing up these old wounds is just tearing her apart, because she sees the little girl, every night in her dreams, because she was one of the last people to see this little girl alive. And then he runs into Lawrence Fishburne, and Lawrence Fishburne says, okay, what do you want exactly? And he goes, I'm just trying to get some information. And I love how Lawrence Fishburne plays this particular role, because he goes, well, fair enough, you want some information. And he drives him to the crime scene where everything happens. And then all of a sudden he takes a seat belt and he wraps it around Sean Connery's thing, and he goes, come on and scream, big boy like you, I know you can scream. And it's so good. I love, but it is a bit of a jump, because we're going from a police kind of noir almost thing to where, what the fuck is Lawrence Fishburne gone crazy? And I love that. Am I explaining it right? I'm probably not.
No, you are. It is a great scene. My problem is, though, the subsequent scene is like, he's trying to point out, he's trying to scare, but simultaneously show Sean Connery how fucking easy it would be to commit the crime, and why Blair Underwood's character would have had the capacity and the modus operandi to do so. And yeah, that's great. But then to follow it up, like with Sean Connery getting out of the car, and some motherfucker tried to choke me out with a fucking seatbelt, I'd kick the fucking hole off him. Now again, Sean Connery is just like a professor, and this guy's a cop, and they're out in the middle of the fucking boonies. But I would be like, I would get in that car and I'd lock all the fucking doors, and I'd fold my arms like, motherfucker, we're not going anywhere till the car passes by. You can stay out there and I'll stay in here. But no, Connery follows Fishburne into the fucking swamp. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
are you for fucking real? This man just tried to strangle you. Now, I get it. He was trying to illustrate a point, and
Mm-hmm.
Connery got that point. But I would not be going in to a fucking murky fucking swamp in the middle of fucking God knows bumfuck nowhere after a dude tried to fucking strangle me. I don't know. Maybe that's just a little quirk with me, but
Okay, counterpoint. But before I make my counterpoint, I'm going to say hi to Cody. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes,
Cody.
it is very much like, Cody says, it's very much like In the Heat of the Night, and he's right.
It's In the Heat of the Night by way of Seven, by way of Batman, The Long Halloween,
some other stuff.
It's like that episode of Friends where fucking Joey cooked the lasagna and the trifle together, and they taste good. Maybe you just break them in half and eat them one piece at a time.
To make a counterpoint though, and I get what you're saying, and it's not a quirk with you, but I have to kind of disagree with you a little bit because, like, in the real world, I get it. You'd punch the guy out, you'd be like, fuck you, dude. But I think it makes such a great point because Lawrence, and I know you get it, but Lawrence Fishburne is trying to put Sean Connery in that little girl's shoes. Because, I mean, and Sean Connery is kind of being, and that's, I think, I don't know if that was what the director's point is. We can get very callous with, and forget that this was a living, breathing little girl. This little girl had a family and people who loved her. And, Sean Connery's kind of cavalier, like, I'm just trying to get some information. And we find out later that Lawrence Fishburne has a lot more stronger connection to this little girl than what we know at this point and stuff. And he's pissed. You can kind of, and I love it. He doesn't like yell or scream or anything, but if you look at Lawrence Fishburne's eyes, you can see he's a little pissed at this and how fucking cavalierly he's treating this little girl. And so he wants to make a point. And so he's putting him in, and I know you get it, but to me, I thought it was genius. And I love how he just says, scream.
I get that. And it's a great point. But I would have like, if I was to write that scene again, I'd be like, fucking Connery loses his shit, fucking goes back to his motel room, mulls it over, then rins up. Okay, show me the fucking swamp. I wouldn't go straight from being strangled in a fucking passenger seat of a car to fucking, going out in a swamp with fucking Lawrence Fishburne after he nearly tried to choke me. Hello, Jennifer Tochi, and hello, Khalil Daly. How you doing, guys?
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I get that. But also, let's be fair, Marty, there's a lot more this movie's going to throw at us. We don't have time.
Oh, yeah. This is fucking subtle in comparison to some of the shit that's going to fucking jump out later on. I'll tell you that.
It is, but I get where you're coming from, but that's one of my favorite scenes is where Lawrence Fishburne is just telling, and you can
cool
see
scene. I just would have executed it differently.
A little differently.
I would have kept the scene with him strangling Connery in the fucking in the fucking car, but I just think having Connery then go, okay, let's go into the swamp. It's like, yeah, really?
I get And the other thing that I like about this film, darling, is the fact that, like, much like we did with Walter Hill, we're putting Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne are very two different men, and it's not exactly a buddy cop, but they have a grudging respect for each other. Even though Lawrence Fishburne is super pissed at Connery and think he's an ignorant Yankee and should mind his own fucking business, I do like the fact that there is a grudging respect with them and stuff, and it does give a little bit more impactful scene. Because one of the next scenes we find out is Lawrence Fishburne goes, you almost had me fooled there, Slick, because we're going to add another twist again. If you guys haven't seen this movie, apologies for the spoilers, but you know me, I like to deep dive. We find out the reason why why Blair Underwood picked Sean Connery, and it has to do with his wife and Kate Capshaw.
This is look,
there's more.
This is funny for a fucking couple of reasons, right? First off, as Jen pointed out, she's like, man, Kate Capshaw's a bitch for getting Connery to clean up her fucking mess. And that's exactly what it is. She caused some shit for fucking Blair Underwood's character a few years back. And she neglected to tell Connery. Now, my thing is, surely fucking Connery would have gone. Now, okay, in Connery's character's defense, this case was literally dropped in his lap, so he probably had very little time to do research and homework. But man, I like, you would automatically check prior criminal convictions and who was the prosecution. And I was like, honey, why is your name on this fucking prosecution? I just.
But I still say Kate Capshaw's a bitch for not if this was us, I would tell you before and I would
better. It's like, yeah, Jesus Christ.
And I also think she's kind of a bitch because she's like, well, you got to make this right. And I'm like, bitch, you're the one that made him. Because basically what Kate Capshaw does is Blair Underwood gets accused of another crime before this little girl happens and stuff. And Kate Capshaw makes him stay in jail an extra night, and he gets beat and loses his scholarship. So
he loses more than his scholarship, my dear, but we'll get to that later on.
that hasn't come up yet. Well, it will never
well,
come
it'll
up.
never come up. Christ, I've been hanging around you too long.
You
Jesus.
really have. But you know, but I mean, am I wrong though? She's, you know.
No, you're fucking dead on the money. I mean, like, it's like at first you think, oh, you know, she's been all altruistic and shit. She wants her husband to find his chi once again, to return to being the noble defender of the. No, she just wanted to fucking have her guilty conscience fucking eased.
Yeah, and why is Kate Capshaw doing all this? She should be the one running around with Lawrence Fishburne to fix this.
No, I know. I like it. Lawrence Fishburne had fucking punch her out with all the screaming. Keep in mind, this is Kate Capshaw. She played Willie in fucking Temple of Doom. She would have just annoyed the living fuck out of Lawrence Fishburne. She would have just been. Can you imagine Willie from fucking Temple of Doom in a Florida fucking swamp?
Actually, I can. Hello, Brian. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, Brian.
Thank you so much. But no, and also we should mention right now, because there's more is going to come up a lot in this stream, and we should mention that Kate Capshaw and Sean Connery have a little girl about the same age that the victim is, and that may or may not play a part, kids. Her name is Katie.
Do you know what? As we're discussing this movie, maybe it's slipping a bit towards fucking Orphan First Kill.
Fuck you!
The moment of reflection. No. I could be wrong. Do you know what? No, I'm probably wrong, because there's nothing as bad as Orphan First.
Oh, fuck you. But be prepared. Okay, so we got that. Where am I driving the car now? I'm gonna let you take the wheel for a second, because I've lost my train of thought.
So basically, fucking Connery is informed by the detective, who he has already an antagonistic relationship with, that his wife had a prior connection with the suspect. And now that has made things even more sour with fucking said detective. And Connery's like, man, woman, you just made me look like an asshole. That's the only way to describe the situation.
But it doesn't change anything. And, you know, Sean Connery he did a famous interview saying he wasn't opposed to women getting slapped if they really had it coming. I think this is one time where she might have been okay to slap her, right? Or is that wrong?
Jesus Christ, we're getting so fucking cancelled.
We were canceled a long time
Ben's
ago.
Reviews from the Grave does not condone or validate any opinions of Sean Connery in his prior life, okay?
Well, he did. It wasn't me, Marty. That's a famous thing where he said he didn't mind.
No, I remember that. It's you know, it's like, I wouldn't punch a woman, I'd slap the bitch. And that's
well, like, would you have slapped her if it had been me?
No, I'm not Sean Connery. I'm not James Bond. I don't use physical violence as foreplay, for fuck's sake.
You know, it's on the bucket list.
Oh, Jesus. I knew that was lurking out there in the fucking dark. And I went ahead and said it anyway.
You have been taken around. But getting back to the movie, though, darling, like, seriously, would you have helped the guy? Like, you know, when you found out that your wife kind of negated.
The thing is now, he's visited him. He said, yeah, I'll try and help you. You can't exactly go back into your man and say, yeah, my wife's involved with this, so you're going to have to get the chair, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm too close to this. It's like, man, you would feel like a triple arsehole after this, like, you know?
And we find out the reason why is Kate Capshaw, like, she thought she had it all locked up, and it turned out that her star witness against Blair Underwood was related to, or was not related, was a boyfriend of the victim, and, like, so her case got completely shot, and she's like, "You gotta fix this for me, babe, even though you had nothing to do with it, it's your fault." It just annoys me, Marty. I know I'm probably dwelling on it, but it just annoys me.
It would be like if you brought home a dog and it shat everywhere and you asked me to scoop up the fucking shit.
Kind of, yeah. So we got that, and then, like I said, but wait, there's more. So, like, Blair Underwood saying, "I didn't do this." And another thing I like about this, this movie is we do get how horrific the little girl. I mean, she wasn't just murdered; she was raped, and she's a 9-year-old girl. But we find out that there's more to it, and why perhaps Lawrence Fishburne is a little too close to this situation, because Sean Connery is going around the town talking to people, and he goes back to Lawrence Fishburne's house, and Lawrence Fishburne isn't there, but his daughter is. And there's a scene I told Marty when we were watching it earlier on. Lawrence Fishburne says a key piece of dialogue, and he says, "I used to see him around when I would take my girls," and I go, "Marty, notice plural." And what it is his daughter happened to be best friends with the little girl that got raped and murdered, and he thought of it, the little girl, as much as his daughter as his real daughter was. It was one and the same to him. So he had a little bit of a prejudice against Blair Underwood to begin with.
Yeah, the thing is that would have never held up in court.
In a small town, though,
The
Marty?
personal connection.
In a small town, maybe?
Yeah, no, which this is. Again, they have made it abundantly clear this is a backwoods shit kicker town. Sure, it's a progressive backwoods shit kicker town, but a shit kicker town nonetheless.
I thought it was a very powerful scene when Sean Connery's talking to Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, and she's like, "I still think about her every day." And then it's also great because right at that second, as soon as that's out of her mouth, Lawrence Fishburne comes through the front door and says, "Think about who?" And you can just hear, again, one of the things I love about Lawrence Fishburne's performances is there's rage under the performance, but it's not as over the top as perhaps another character we're going to meet is in this movie. But you can still hear, if you're paying attention and you watch his eyes and listen to the inflections in his voice, he's
Lawrence Fishburne is one of those people. He acts visually just as well as he acts kind of vocally. He is just he has this subtlety about him, particularly with his eyes. If you watch Boys in the Hood, he's great in that as Cuba Gooding Jr.'s father, and there's a whole host of other stuff that he's in that he's so fucking good. And there's a nuance to him, and I think he's great. And as I said, the entire cast is great, but there is a subtlety to him, because the scene with the car, your favorite scene, again, while I have issues with the subsequent scenes after it, the ease he goes into of trying to fucking strangle Sean Connery, but there's no another actor be screaming and hollering and doing all this wild shit, and he's there taunting him with kind of this real calm, collected fucking manner, which is, if you ask me, even worse than So I again, Lawrence Fishburne is a fucking powerhouse when whatever he's in. I loved him in fucking, again, no surprises, 2010's Predators. He plays this Robinson Crusoe soldier stuck on an alien planet, and the only person he's had to talk to is himself, and he's so fucking good at that as well. So yeah, this is again, you're dealing with a fucking A caliber cast, and this is a prime example of it.
It is. But I really love the scene. And I did you think it was too plot convenience when we find out that he has a connection? Or I thought it worked really well, and it was done fairly organically for this movie. Or no?
No, do you know what? I think it works because all the other fucking stuff is just so fucking, okay, you know what? Fuck it. In comparison, this is subtle. Like, that's
It is. I would agree with that. Something that we're going to come up to that's non-subtle, I guess we should probably bring in because people are going, I know she said something about Ed Harris. Where does he come into all this craziness? You want to tell the good people, darling?
So it turns out that
Wait,
fucking
there's
Blair
more.
Underwood conveniently is in the cell next to the man who might have actually killed. Hey, Nanette, the
Hey,
man who
Nanette.
might have actually killed the kid. And his name is Sullivan, and he is a fucking fruit nut to say the least. This guy, Ed Harris, is brilliant. Ed
Yes.
Harris is awesome. Ed Harris is the best Batman villain ever. I just don't know why the fuck he's in this movie. That's that's
Okay,
my
I'm
thing.
going to
It's like,
fuck you a little bit because I think it worked. my credibility when my movies are going down with you and probably our audience too. But like, I love Ed Harris in this fucking movie. I've heard people who hate this movie who will say Ed Harris is the best part of this movie.
no, look. I just think we're already dealing with. So again, it's instrumental that you kind of keep the focus on the story, on the plight of Blair Underwood.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of fucking that ended up taking a sideline when this character fucking showed up. I'm like, wait, what are we fucking doing here now? And again, yes, there is obviously a connection to him, but I'm like, you're you're kind of is no, I'm like again, I get the reason as well because it's jangling the keys at the baby so they don't notice that you're fucking taking one of their toys away. It's they no, hear me out. I I I think it's another kind of red herring situation, and that is an apt determination for what happens later. Because again, we're so busy looking at fucking Ed Harris and his fucking mental shenanigans. We're missing stuff with, or we should be missing stuff with Blair Underwood. For example, there was something else that I thought was really clever, but I think someone might miss it because they're going to be focusing on this new character. When Connery visits the mortician or the pathologist,
Yeah.
they mentioned that the girl was raped, but there was
Mhm.
no semen. She was penetrated. And that plays later on to something with Blair Underwood's character.
Yeah.
And again, you're putting breadcrumbs down for the audience and you're hoping they piece the stuff together. But then you're jangling keys as well to distract them. So the, the breadcrumbs you're putting down, they're not looking for them because you've already distracted them with something else. I think that is like you're kind of you're dismantling the aspects of the who done it with
Hmm.
a fucking more kind of bombastic psychological killer. And yeah, it's that's I Ed Harris is a cool character. He's interesting. I just don't know, was he an extra ingredient this movie needed?
I think it was because I think there might not have been enough without him. I get where you're going with it, but I'm and this is a movie I fucking love, but I will be the first to tell our audience the story is a bit convoluted, it's a bit weak, and we don't exactly know what it's trying to say at some points, but particularly when we get to the ending. So like if you don't have a good story, well then we got to go with good performances, which this movie has in abundance, and just let's go over the top. Sometimes if you don't have anything else, go as far over the top as you can, and it works. Like I'll it's like a jigsaw puzzle where a piece sort of fits but doesn't completely, but you hammer it in, and we hammer in Ed Harris enough where his bombasticness and his over the topness makes it work better than if it was a more subdued character or if he wasn't in it at all. I think that this is one where it saves it rather than not. Now if we were doing a better movie, a stronger, or not a better movie, a better written movie, then maybe we would have had something. But I actually think that for what we had to work with, it was a smart choice.
Yeah, again, I'm not see, I'm not fucking criticizing Harris. I'm not
I know.
criticizing his performance.
Hmm.
I'm not even saying that he wouldn't work in a movie like this. but I think putting him in as a red herring, it's a cheap way to distract the audience. It's a cheap misdirect. That's the
Yeah,
best thing. If this was a magic trick, he is the misdirect,
yeah,
and it's too much of a misdirect. So
I get
now
you.
you're not going to, because you want your audience. Again, I kind of got the I kind of got the feeling that the director wanted this to be a whodunit, and I think
Mhm.
the best whodunits are ones that the audience can participate with. But when you put in artificial barricades to the audience getting through and solving the mystery, that undermines what you're trying to do with the movie.
I get you. It cheapens it a little bit.
I think, but again,
Yeah.
I'm a cranky fucker. I'm a cranky
No!
fucker. So
No, darling, like I'm okay, and I'm the first to like I love this movie, but just because I love them, I know we've preached this at nauseum on our streams, on every stream. Just because we love a movie doesn't necessarily make it infallible or perfect. There are flaws with this. It's just I'm so charmed, and I think it's a shame that people have slept on this movie because if nothing else, it's fun and it's good performances, and I like the bombasticness. But then that's one of the differences between you and me is that yeah, I think I have a better I have a bit larger palette for like the crazy shit crazy stuff where you're like, okay, enough.
no, look, I'm a science fiction and fantasy fan,
I know.
and my whole approach though with that is form should follow functionality.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the most outlandish thing, but make sure it works mechanically, be it plot wise, be it fucking engineering wise, be it a certain thing. Just have it in such a way that it works organically and mechanically to further the plot, and you're not shoving it forward. I'm
I'm a simple creature, darling. I'm
no,
like,
no,
oh, that's
I didn't say that, and I
oh, I
certainly
know.
don't mean that.
I'm just teasing. I know you're not talking down to me, but I'm just saying. I'm a simple creature, darling, and I'm a theater kid. So, like, you can dazzle me if your performance is good enough. And we don't have one performance in this. We don't have two. I mean, the whole fucking cast is just giving us a lot to eat, even if the recipe might be a little bit convoluted. Like, it's still tasty because their seasonings, their performances are the seasonings, and that makes it tasty enough. Maybe not be the most healthy thing, but it's tasty.
I did you find though that like there was so many what a twists that'd make fucking M Night Shyamalan jizz his fucking pants via multiple orgasms? I mean, like there.
Yeah, but see, I had fun with it. That's my rule. If I have fun, and I was having too much fun, but and to be fair, like if it wasn't that Shyamalan, I'd probably be ranting and raving. This movie's a piece of shit.
No,
But
no, no. Look. Again, you know what? I'm feeling hypocritical at the moment because
no,
I went on a rant about how I loved fucking Hawk the Slayer today, so I can't really fucking, And this movie's certainly a better caliber than fucking Hawk the Slayer, but I I
we.
just think you're sabotaging what could have been a really good whodunit
Mhm.
by adding surplus elements.
No,
But again, that's this movie in a fucking nutshell as well, because it wants to try and transcend genres, and like that fucking car going over the bridge, it doesn't quite work.
I get what you're saying, darling, and I agree. But like I said, for me, I'm a theater kid and I just love the performances too much. And I can forgive. I can forgive. Give me good performances sometimes, and sometimes that's not all. Jesse Buckley gave us a great performance in The Bride, and I still had problems. But so
Yeah,
it's a case by case basis. But in this case, I really loved it. And to get back to Ed Harris, because for people who haven't seen this movie, I mean, my God, basically Blair Underwood is explaining this to Sean Connery and saying that Ed Harris is calling Blair Underwood his last victim. And again, give it up to Blair Underwood because he's telling the story and he's like every night he just screams, and then you kind of get a flashback and you hear Ed Harris screaming, "Bobby girl. And it's so fucking good. It's over the top, but it's so fucking good, right? And he's like, he calls me his last victim, and he goes, well, hell, boy, I know you didn't do it because I did it. What you telling me that you're in here for murdering a little white girl in Ochapi? I know you didn't do that. And it sucks you in, or at least it sucks me in, the performances and the story. And it's plausible. And one thing I will give this movie is it throws out enough to make you at least a little unsure. Like, you caught on to what it was doing pretty quick, but you weren't 100%. And I think the first time you're watching this, because like you do see him get beaten, there's plausibilities for it to go either way.
Yeah, no. Again, they throw out enough ambiguous elements to make you question yourself. But again, I was like, you could done it a lot subtler. I think from years of watching my mom loves kind of whodunits and crime and mystery stuff. So maybe it's just me. Maybe it's years of watching fucking Inspector Morse or Kojak and shit with my mom. That's like, I'm turning into the fucking West of Ireland equivalent of fucking Columbo or something. One more tension, one more fucking thing. Kind of,
Ooh. Can you wear a trench coat when we have sex?
Jesus Christ. What if I fucking go all Peter Falk and my false eye falls out on top of you? Right. Actually, do you know what? Let's get back to the review.
You know what? If you did, I would just take my boobs and like rub them in the middle.
Oh, for fuck. Let's get back to the review before people leave.
Okay. So, but I love the story, and I love how, just batshit crazy, Ed Harris is, because, oh my God, Marty. And I also love the religion, and I feel that that's very intentional, because Ed Harris is coming from a very religious background. He's a serial killer, and him and Blair Underwood, that's where you got to decide, okay, what's going on, who's being truthful. And also it's talking about the justice system, how easy it is to frame, make evidence that's really one way go and point it another way. Lawrence Fishburne talks about that too. And I think that's something the movie, it's not very coherent, but I think that is what we're talking about to some degree.
Yeah, this movie is trying to say so many things, but as a result, it doesn't really say anything.
I would agree with you on that.
Like, you done a bit of homework and research on this. Is there any have you garnered any political lead-ins or educational fucking status or beliefs?
It's based on a book, and I have read the book, and usually I'm always about the book, and the book's not bad, but what this movie does is it makes it a lot more fast. They add a lot more to it, like more action, and make it a little bit more fast, because the book is a bit slow to get through. It's not a bad book, but I think they just wanted to ramp it up a little bit. So hence where we get alligators and cars jumping over bridges.
Like, we can save it to the end, but the alligator, I actually didn't mind. I thought that was incredibly subtle. Although their eyes, never mind. I won't get into that.
Fuck's sake. This ain't a dinosaur movie, Marty. This, not to be a dick, but this ain't a dinosaur
movie. I know
movie.
It's not a dinosaur movie. I just, fucking alligators' eyes don't fucking glow red. I'll fucking tell you that. Unless they were fucking Terminators or fucking Autobot, Decepticon, fucking crocodiles or alligators, whatever the fuck. Aye.
It looked cool, Marty. It looked cool. We definitely know who's the more scientific one of the two of us.
Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, so
go ahead.
So essentially, Connery talks to fucking Sullivan, Ed Harris's character, and it's quickly determined that this guy is like, first off, this is a fucking character from a Batman comic, and second off, this guy is fucking certa fucking fiable, and Connery is like trying to question him, and it's like, quid pro quo, Clarice, this is not okay. I'll fucking
But
tell
I
you
think
that.
that's what we're going for, Marty. And in a way, you hit the nail on the head because I think that's what we're going for.
They try it. They try it. It's, hey, we can land this plane. We've got no wheels. Fuck it, we'll try it anyway. Yeah.
And at the beginning, Sean Connery, when he's talking to Ed Harris, I do love the biblical, because religion both fascinates and repels me in equal measures. And I love where Ed Harris, tells him they just didn't look for the signs. And he's saying, maybe I did make that little sweet little girl's acquaintance. And, but the knife, if I told you where you can find the knife, and then he goes, Ecclesiastes, chapter 11 verse 1, just look for the signs, and then he says seek and ye shall find. I fucking that's why when we have problems with its movies, these fucking lines, and probably someone who's like a bit better cinephile than I am would,
again, that is
it
cool.
works.
Eh,
why
I honestly, it's like, look for the signs. Ecclesiastes, it's like, is it a fucking serial killer or the Riddler we're fucking questioning here? It's like,
but we
what the
later find out why he so has such an affinity for religion, so I think it works.
no, it does, but again, subtlety could have been a bit better.
Marty, it's just subtlety. Look at who you're dating. You're not going to get subtlety around these.
No, I know, but no one's mad enough to let you direct the film.
Well, see, I don't like subtlety's nice sometimes, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes, I like to be a little bit, forward.
No, look. So I'll give it leeway in the point of this was orchestrated by Sullivan and another character who we'll get to. I'd say people already fucking know, but they Kaiser Sode said an entire fucking kind of plot or fucking scenario. It's like, okay, there was a sign here with 111. I'll attribute that to the fucking Bible and this and that, and it's like, what the fuck?
I think it works.
Okay, I get it, but like, if like Lawrence Fishburne's like, you're fucking wait,
you got evidence pointing this way, now you got evidence pointing that way.
Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne was like, wait, so he told you some bullshit I'm ad-libbing now. Lawrence Fishburne's like, he told you some bullshit in the Bible and you expect to find a knife out in this massive fucking swamp? That's a bit too convenient now. That's fucking Lawrence Fishburne kind of like,
It is. Did you like the scene? Because I do like the play between them, because Sean Connery does see the knife and before he tells Lawrence Fishburne, he goes, would you mind picking that up? And he goes, something wrong with your hands? And he goes, no, but it's generally good idea to let a law officer find the evidence, right? And then I love Lawrence Fishburne because he just gives him a murderous look and he goes, fuck Blair Sullivan and fuck you too. And he heads off and he goes, no, rejoice, because a great injustice is about to be undone. And then he whoops. It's strange, but I like it.
I like the animal's reaction. I mean, the alligator got fucking scared. It's like, fuck, Sean Connery's gonna punch a bitch out. Just
well, maybe if Lawrence Fishburne had been a woman, he would have.
Oh, Nanette, I don't dislike Usual Suspects. I'm just saying this tries to do the Usual Suspects thing, and yeah, kind of succeeds, kind of doesn't.
You didn't think that was too over the top though, with Connery whooping, because it does sort of come out of nowhere.
But Jen, in comparison to everything else, that is a subtle element of this movie.
But wait, there's more.
What a twist!
So I guess, okay, now we're really going to start getting into spoilers, people. Is there anything we want to tell before we get into spoilers? Like anything else that we need to, or give people their warning? Is there anything else you want to discuss? Because I don't want this to go on too long.
No, no, no. I do like how, like, I for the uninitiated watching the movie, I would like to think, like, after the court case, right, where surprise, surprise, because of the new evidence, Blair Underwood gets set free. He gets
Exonerated.
a retrial, and he gets
Yeah.
his state of reprieve or whatever, and he gets free, and everyone's celebrating and stuff. And to the
Woohoo!
uninitiated, I just see people slowly getting out of their cinema seats, and they're like, wait, what's happening? Fucking wait, you solved the crime. The guy's got off. It's all good. It's Why is this movie still going? Like, do you think there were people like that? Do you think there were people like, why is the movie still playing? He got the guy off. He saved Blair Underwood's life. Do you think people would have been confused?
Yeah, there probably was a few. Also, you keep saying got the guy off. I just keep imagining
For
Sean
fuck's sake! I mean,
Connery.
fucking acquitted. I don't know. Jesus, you fucking talk. You talk. So it's your stream.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not being an asshole. It's just you know me
No,
and
no,
how
no.
my
I know you're
brain
not.
works.
I know. I'm fucking playing with you. I know. I know.
I just when I hear get off, I just am picturing Sean Connery give a hand job to Blair Underwood, which, considering another twist that we haven't told you guys about yet, would be quite a thing. How would he give a hand job to Blair Underwood, considering his condition?
So maybe he has a pouch or something that he can fondle. I can fucking know.
Okay, so yeah, so no, yeah, he gets exonerated, and like Marty said, we could stop the movie right there, and if they had, how would you have felt about that, darling?
I'd have been like, the fuck, you know what? Hey, this is a good movie, and at least nothing ridiculous transpired. Well, more ridiculous than Ed Harris, I suppose. Yeah.
But wait, there's more. So as you guys might have figured out by now, there's a little bit more. And Sean Connery, when they're at this like celebration, also sad. The one thing I don't like about this movie is Chris Sarandon's in it for like 2 seconds, and I just hate the fact we don't get more Chris Sedan. He does get hit on by a woman though, but then you can't blame her. It's Chris Sedan.
Yeah, the secretary of Kate Capshaw's dad hits on him and Sean. She's brilliant. There's a character. She's like, "Oh, so you married? Yeah, 8 years. Oh, just about time to fool around." And you're like, "I love this character. Why doesn't she get the movie?"
But Sean Connery gets a phone call, and it's Ed Harris, and he's as he says, I have less time than a round of golf, because he's a serial killing murderer, and they're going to execute him, right? Which there's going to be a real funny scene that I'll let Marty talk about that cracked Marty the fuck up. Even did that crack you up more with the lights, or was it the bridge?
the lights was like, oh my god, that was. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about her. I'm fucking dying.
But before we get to that, so anyway, Ed Harris tells Sean Connery, yeah, we thought that, our golden boy, yeah, we thought that the knife would be the thing that clinched it. And like you can see, Sean Connery's brain is working overtime, and he goes, who's we? And he goes, I'll tell you something. You go, and he gives him an address. He goes, you go to this address, and you talk to my parents, and you tell them I love them. And then you come to me, and I'll tell you who we is. So, and I do like, again, like some people might argue with me, but we're really going into another direction because Sean Connery's just racing against the clock to get to this house, and it's dark, and this house is just
this is very much horror. This is very much Seven vibes. This is, when they go into the pedophile's apartment, and it's very much that kind of, again, this creepy kind of derelict building with religious iconography. And I think this is the caveat that lets this stream go onto your channel, because this is really a horror centric kind of scene, I think.
It really is, and it's very effective. Although you did point out that fuck off that Sean Connery couldn't smell these people because the house doesn't have any electric. It's completely dark, no electricity. Although I guess that's not true because the religious music is playing because Sean Connery cuts it off. But
That
some
would
of them
no,
like
that was a radio. That was an old fucking kind of ham radio. You wouldn't need
okay,
to plug
okay.
that in.
So it's so but Sean, and it's dark, and there's just this absence, and there's this heaviness in the air, and again the film captures all of this foreboding, the sinister vibe that's in the air, that something's not right. And he literally, and again, the light, kind of, you open your eyes and you shall see kind of thing. I think there's a better biblical thing, but you guys get where I'm going with this. He opens up the window, the light, and the light was good, and it frames the Ed Harris's parents, that were, their throats were cut and brutally murdered, right, guys? And the thing is, it couldn't have been Ed Harris who did it because he was locked up. So who could have fucking murdered Ed Harris's parents? And again, you can just see that Sean Connery's doing like, fucking Sherlock Holmes in his brain. And again, he drives over to Ed Harris and he's like, what the fuck is going on, bro? And he's smart. Ed Harris says he doesn't want him to use his tape recorder, but Sean Connery does anyway, which probably is illegal. But again, that's a small little nitpick considering.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of the scene coming up again.
So Sean Connery's like, who's we? And because he knows that if he tells Ed Harris his news first, that Ed Harris won't tell him anything. So he tells him, shocker, kids. For those of you who have not seen it, and I'm sure you guys are going to be shocked, Blair Underwood was the killer. He did kill the little girl. Him and Ed Harris just kind of worked out a deal. Is Ed Harris and I do love some of these lines in this movie. Ed Harris says basically, he gave me death and I gave him life, because basically the deal was between Blair Underwood and Ed Harris that if he would go free, if Ed Harris would give him the thing to go free, he would go and murder Ed Harris's parents. And you get that, like Marty said, there's religious iconography all over their house, and Ed Harris is pretty pissed about it. You kind of get the feeling, even though the movie doesn't exactly acknowledge it, you get the feeling that like Ed Harris blames his parents for how he turned out. Or that's how I took it.
Yeah, there is, but the thing I liked though earlier on, and it kind of plays maybe to the fact that Ed Sullivan is full of shit. He's like, it doesn't matter about upbringing, it doesn't matter about like, oh, they abused me, they sexed me up, like all that kind of stuff. And he's just saying it's about appetite. It's about appetite. And then no, turns out, no, motherfucker, you had a beef with your parents. So you were talking a lot of shit. I like that as well. I like the fact that they'd done a trade, that Blair Underwood found someone messed up enough to fucking take the blame in exchange for him fucking going out and killing his parents and stuff. I thought that was clever. That was cool. Again, it was actually a lot less fucking Batman-esque than what I would have fucking put forward. I do like as well that fucking Connery doesn't give him the satisfaction. He fucks with him and says, "Oh yeah, no, he didn't. Your parents are alive and well." And fucking Ed Harris
forgive you.
But yeah, they forgive you. Now Ed Harris just fucking loses it. Loses it. As Connery's going out the door, he gives Harris this cute little thumbs up. And fucking Harris is like, "You fucking."
And I also love how he's shouting, "You've got the again." I don't, again, like the religious thing about the thing that repulses me and fascinates me in equal measures. You got the trials of Job coming up. You got the trials of Job. And I also like how Ed Harris, when he's trying to get Sean Connery to tell him about his parents' bodies, he's like, "Spare me nothing. How did they look? How did they smell?" And I love that performance.
Well, obviously he couldn't tell how they smelled, because even though there was a fucking cloud of flies the size of fucking Nebraska in that fucking house, there wasn't a stir knocked out of him. So obviously there wasn't a whiff. He went he went strolling through that fucking house. There wasn't like a moment where he put a hanky over his nose, or there wasn't a moment where he's like,
Sean Connery, Marty. I guess he can't. Maybe he thought it would look unmanly.
but yeah, no, but like, you know, how did it spell? I don't fucking know. I was only alerted to their dead presence by the cloud of fucking flies.
And then I'm gonna let you. Sean Connery makes a phone call to Lawrence Fishburne saying, "You know what, Blair Underwood is the murderer," and like Lawrence Fishburne's like, "Yeah, I know that asshole." And then they're arguing, right? And I'll let Marty take it from here because this is probably one of his favorite scenes. It probably made it worse seeing the movie.
So basically, Lawrence Fishburne is like, "Oh, I got it on recorded, and that won't do. You need to keep Sullivan alive. He needs to be put on trial and testify. Whatever you do, don't let Sullivan die." And the fucking lights dim as the fucking switches go. And I swear to God, I nearly had a fucking kittens and a conniption. This was just. It was Tex Avery. It was like, oh, you wascally wabbit. I nearly
And I
fucking
think that
died.
scene was supposed to be full of tension, Marty. I don't think that's what the director wanted out of you.
Like when I fucking bust my whole laughing, what was going through your head? You're like, is my fucking boyfriend a sociopath? Or
No, because like I thought to myself, yeah, it is kind of funny. I never looked at it that way. I kind of just let the movie dictate. But once I saw you laughing, I kind of laughed too, and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of funny if you step out of the urgency of it all. It is the absurdity of it is kind of funny, and I did get a good laugh out of it. And I said, I think that's when I told you this is where we're going to start taking a big sharp turn.
yeah.
Yeah, so basically what happens after that, Ed Harris is dead, but he's got the tape recording and he tells Lawrence Fishburne, you got to keep your eye on not Sullivan, on Blair Underwood. And Lawrence Fishburne's like, I already did that. And he's got Wilcox on it, the officer that beat the shit out of him earlier on. And that's a cool scene as well because you see him saying, I got Wilcox on it. And then you see a shot of Wilcox with a knife through his throat. I thought that was very effective.
Yeah, it's again, it does establish that fucking Blair Underwood is the Kaiser Soze of serial killers. He's like one or two steps ahead. Again, it is veering a bit too close to a fucking Batman villain, but not as bad as Ed Harris. I will say that. So the situation is he still has a vendetta against Connery's wife because she was on the prosecution team that got him in the fucking slammer and shit done to him, which we'll get to. And he decides to kidnap Connery's fucking family. So he kidnaps Kate Capshaw and fucking Connery's kid. And luckily enough, Connery bumps into Lawrence Fishburne's character and there's a pursuit. There's a high-speed pursuit. And this is a high-speed pursuit. They're chasing one another. And the weirdest thing happens, right? The weirdest fucking thing happens. And this is before the bridge, Jen. The weirdest thing happens. Fucking Lawrence Fishburne leans over to Connery and goes, okay, ease down a bit. We don't want him to see us. And Fishburne starts scooching down in the fucking passenger seat. And I'm like, you're already chasing the cunt and he can tell you're chasing him. Why the fuck are you scooching? I was just boggled by that. Did I pick something up, Ron? It's like Fishburne was the only one doing it. I suppose Connery could have done it, but it would have been like, why are there a pair of hairy knuckles driving this car? Like,
And I also love, like, that's the part that got you. The part that got me, and this is just wrong, but it's me, so of course it's going to be wrong, that makes Jen giggle. Blair Underwood, he has this little toe-headed white girl in Cape Catshaw, and he tells Cape Catshaw to get in, and then he grabs the girl. He's got the knife to her throat. He's like, "Bitch, you better move." And I'm like, I just love the performance. It's like, could I have your autograph, Mr. Underwood?
It is like the director at like the 12th hour is like, you know what, fuck it. Anyone, whatever you want, ad lib, do what you want. Look, fucking go for it. At this stage, I just want done with this movie. He's like, do what you like. And everyone just fucking, everything in the kitchen sink is put into this last fucking act. It's got chases, it's got gunplay, it's got stabbings, it's got animal attacks, it's got romance, it's got danger.
It kind of does. And so, like, we have this the thing where and Blair Underwood tells Kate Capshaw to floor it. And why do I always think of fucking I don't know why, Indiana Jones? I because she was in it, of course, but like, I just think that somehow this is connected. Whitley's going wee.
Oh my Jen, I gotta download this scene and put fucking the Indiana Jones do the fucking the car going over the fucking bridge.
It's amazing. Like, okay, is this where the movie kind of like is starting to flounder just a wee bit, Marty?
No, it's not floundering. Floundering means something is running out of life. This thing is just fucking blowing its load all over the back of its wife and has totally missed the fucking mark. Okay, it was like the wife was like, "Hey, honey, let's try for a baby tonight." The movie is like, I really been had around you tonight. The movie's like, "Honey, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I don't earn enough to fucking keep a child." So it just pulls out and blows its load right across its wife's back and hair. That's what it fucking does.
Well, maybe it'll be good for the wife's hair. I hear it is. I saw a porno once where it said it makes your boob, like a man's love juice makes your boobs and hair grow.
Jesus Christ! If anyone's listening, we apologize, but this is what you signed up for. Okay, you knew what you were getting when you entered this stream.
What, Just Cause streams where I talk about a man's love juice rubbing it into their follicles and mammary glands? I'll use a scientific.
Well, that and me using the fucking comparison of blowing your load onto your wife's back so you don't have to pay for college tuition, like, that's fucking that as well, like,
Is that why that was a wet spot the other night, darling? Oh. Anyway, back to the movie. Alligators. So, but we do, and it's a very Thelma and Louise where they make it across. But to the movie's credit, like Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne try, but then they have to stop at the end because that might be a little too ridiculous.
Oh yeah, because we
I do ask, why are we restraining now? Why are we restraining now, movie?
Well, it's already blown its fucking load.
I guess
it's the movie's dick has gone limp and it's just fucking there, and it's at best it can grind its balls up against the woman's teeth. But Jesus Christ, so this is what happens when you're in a relationship with you for too long. Jesus fuck.
Yeah, or you're using me as a cover and you're a way bigger pervert than I am.
Oh yeah, I'm the Blair Underwood and you're the Ed Harris of this fucking situation.
Actually, I think that's I'm gonna describe us that way from now on.
Fuck off.
And I like that I'm the Ed Harris. I can't draw though, but anyway, they get over the bridge, and Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne don't, and they get to this like gator thing in the woods, where gator thing. I don't fucking know. It's like
Swamp. It's called a swamp. It's called a swamp. Shit. Jesus Christ.
So I don't know about them dinosaurs. Excuse me.
It's a fucking swamp.
Fuck off.
You have swamps over. Well, obviously not where you live. You don't have any fucking water or anything.
Anyway, so like we're finishing it up. We're wrapping this up. Like if I had a well, no, I wouldn't put a condom on your penis. Anyway, so you got
I don't need to. I just blow it on your back. We've already established that. Because I can't pay for the child's college tuition.
Or the therapy. Let's be real. It's not the college tuition. It's the therapy bills.
I was trying to be nice to you. Okay.
Oh, it was a euphemism. I get it. Just like the swamp's a gator thing. Anyway, so basically what happens is that he takes Kate Capshaw and the daughter to this little cabin in the swamp and ties them up, and this is where it turns into basically an action movie, guys. It doesn't even have the pretense, because we were kind of doing a political thriller noir, and now we're just kind of going for bargain bin Steven Seagal action movie. Is that a fair assessment, Marty?
Yeah, you also forgot horror as well with the fucking
horror.
This movie's just a checklist of genres at this fucking stage.
It is, and we get the obligatory fight scene, and we get this is where I will have a problem with it, because this really does go by the numbers. He has a fight with Lawrence Fishburne, and Blair Underwood says, "Oh, I killed him," and at the last minute, Lawrence Fishburne comes out and he's alive. It reminds me very much of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, where he was dead to rights, and then
Ken Foree comes back miraculously. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, but only action movie set and stuff. And I do like the dialogue, though. Again, Blair Underwood is this last part of the movie. It's really down to Blair Underwood, because he tells Kate Capshaw, she's like, "Oh, don't hurt her. She's just a little girl." And he's like, "I'm gonna have you first, and then she's gonna be my dessert." And then he also makes a big reveal about him being castrated. That's the real reason why we're here, people, and why he had to get back. It wasn't Sean Connery, it was Kate Capshaw, because not only is she a fucking bitch, people, but she got a man castrated. She made her husband clean up a mess that it wasn't his fault, and she got a man castrated. Did I leave anything out, darling?
Sisters are doing it for themselves.
How did you feel about the castration?
At this stage, I was like, yeah, grand, okay.
And I love it because we get the monologue, and because there's a child actor in the room. I guess they could. I kind of wish that he would have pulled his pants down. We just get a crotch shot of him with his pants on, and he's like, "They cut me, and I have no." What is his words, Marty? He says, "They cut me, and I have nothing down there." So how's he gonna rape him?
Oh Jesus! Okay, yeah, okay. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm just marking this as a goddammit chin moment. Fucking TMC says robotic. Thanks, Dan. Dan says robotic penis. You know what, Dan? Given everything that's happened in this movie, that would not have been out of the fucking ordinary, okay?
So the end credit scene should have been Iron Man. The end credit song should have been Iron Man.
Just him there, fucking MCU post-credit scener of him like fucking belting together a mechanical knob. Yeah, fucking do that. Jesus Christ.
So that is his plan, though, right? He's just going to rape the two women and kill Sean Connery. That's his big magnum opus.
Yeah, and then disappear. But
Yeah,
they do try and do something clever. Connery's like, "Oh yeah, I told him that you didn't kill him, and I've got his confession right here on the tape." And that buys him enough time for Lawrence Fishburne to fucking come up behind him and tackle him. And again, I do like this is clever because at the start of the movie, you have Connery talking about how abhorrent violence is and an eye for an eye
yeah,
is, and
makes
like
the world go blind.
there's been other moments where Ed Harris is like, "Oh, you ever kill anyone in Vietnam or Korea or anything like that?" And Connery's like, "No," and it's been established time and time again that Connery is a pacifist, and then he gets Blair Underwood's switchblade and goes to fucking town on him. I mean, he fucking punctures that fucker 7 ways from Sunday. And, him and Larry Fishburne, they fucking get up out of the water. And Blair Underwood, who's actually dead, I think he's fucking dead by this time,
Yeah.
sinks to the water. But so there's no ambiguity whatsoever. A fucking alligator comes out of nowhere and eats him. And I think Jen warned me about this. And after witnessing everything I just fucking witnessed, I was like, yeah, it's grand. Yeah, fuck it.
So I asked you this question at the beginning of our stream. I'm gonna ask it now. Should this have been under our trash fire banner? Thank you, Cal. Thank you. I'm glad you stopped by for a while. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it, dude. I'm. See, trash fire. Like the thing is that the criteria for a trash fire is, I think it's bad. There are multiple elements that make a movie bad, and what is a trash fire and what isn't a trash fire. Um, this isn't a trash fire, but it fucking its knuckles wrapped on the fucking door a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie. Hey,
Hey, Cinderella. Thank you for stopping by.
I'm. I just. I just fucking. I just think this movie. It tries to be multiple genres and it tries to say so many kind of different messages, and yeah, it's that's the issue. The competency of the movie isn't bad. The acting isn't bad. The dialogue isn't bad. The kind of the general premise isn't bad. It's just it weaves in and out of different genres, and by weaving in and out, it loses the kind of the engagement of the prior genre, the who done it. It
Mhm.
loses the engagement of the kind of social commentary. So that's the major failing. I don't think it's badly constructed. I think it's badly kind of I think it's badly just kind of
Executed?
yeah, to a point. Thematically it doesn't know what the fuck it wants to be. That's what I think it is. I think the issue with this is thematically it's all over the fucking place. But there is something here, and it's not bad. It's just it's
Messy.
confused. It's messy and confused.
Yeah, I think you bring out some good points. My next question, are you sorry you watched it?
No, no, I'm not. I got to see some great performances, and I got to see the funniest gag involving a fucking light bulb I've ever fucking seen in my life. So yeah,
For me, this movie, I agree with a lot of the points Marty made, but for me, I love this movie, and it's the performances. I will say the story is a little batshit bonkers, particularly when we get into the third act. But I think it's fun, and if you guys have never seen it, do yourselves a favor. I think maybe you might not like it as much as I do, but I think the performances, you'll at least have a good time with the performances. And again, it's not just one or two of these actors. Everybody in this movie is really giving us a feel. beast, and they're a lot of fun. Also, Marty, is this pro capital punishment or negative capital punishment? Is it bad or good?
I don't know.
This probably will not be the most best movie to do for a capital punishment, but it's fun. Again, it doesn't know what the hell it is, but it's just a movie. The reason why I've talked about this movie a lot with Marty, and I love bringing movies that don't get a lot of attention. And I hope some of you guys might, you know what, check this one out. Well, there's ways to find it, and it's one that's worth seeing, if nothing else, for the performances. And you might get a laugh. You might be like Marty and get several laughs. And I think it's fun to watch this with a partner or with a few friends. I think you might even have more of a fun time with it. You'll
And a
appreciate
couple of
the humor.
beers, maybe just get a couple of big fucking 6-pack slab of fucking Budweiser wouldn't hurt either.
It might not. But overall, and I know this was a little bit out, but I've been wanting to watch this movie. I've been wanting to talk about this movie for a long time. Marty had never seen it, and I thought it would be an interesting stream, and I think it was a fun stream, and I hope you guys had a fun time I know you guys always have a fun time listening to Marty, but hopefully it was a fun stream for you guys. That's what we like to do. We like to talk movies, and sometimes I think this is going to be something you'll see a lot on this channel if I can get my internet working a little bit better. Is occasionally me and Marty might step out with a movie that's not a trash fire and not horror, if you guys want that. Like, I enjoy talking about
we've done it before. We've shocked people before. People are like, wait, these fuckers do legitimate movies? And I'm like, yeah. There's no raping or incest or fucking plastic monsters. Yeah, no, well, we tend to do movies that are all civilized and shit. Yeah.
Is this a civilized movie, Marty?
I don't think the fucking movie knows what it is at this stage.
But if you guys want, we'll occasionally, like, I had fun with this. Like, although this was a blast to do, but like I had very bad technical difficulties. This is why we're a little bit late to the party. But like, if I can get that,
it could be Jen. It could be StreamYards as well, because StreamYards has been acting the bollocks for people a lot lately as well. So like,
thank you guys.
Don't be too hard on yourself.
Well, that's your job.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. I heard that. I tried to give you, oh my God, I was trying to give you a fucking moment of relief, and then you're going to turn around and go, you can give me a couple moments of relief. Jesus
multiple.
Christ.
The key word would be multiple moments of relief, darling. Thank you, Nanette, and thank you, Maya, and that means a lot. But if you guys would like to hear us talk, because I would, this won't be like because we're, everyone's busy, but occasionally, don't be surprised if we might come out with a movie that's a little bit, like Marty said, legitimate.
We've done this before. We've done History of Violence.
Mm-hmm.
We have done
Orphan 2.
Wait, I'm talking about fucking legitimate movies we've done, okay? What's the one with Kevin Bacon? Death Sentence.
Yeah, I love doing that.
Don't Breathe. We done Don't Breathe as well.
That was our first one, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That was our first time.
Also, but before we finish up, I just want to give myself and Jen both want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat, because there's some awesome people that are in the chat with awesome channels. Nanette, if you haven't checked out Nanette's channel,
yes,
go check out Nanette's channel. Check out Dan's channel, Kiwi at the Movies. Mayanne has a fucking awesome channel if you like all videos. Oh, sorry, Jen.
Oh no, I was just saying I love their when they have like videos when they're showing off their goodies, because Mayanne has the coolest collection. So like, I love looking at them.
I'd say you're super fucking jealous of some of Mayanne's art.
Yes, I am, but I'm so glad that she shows it off, because it's so freaking cool. And we also had Cal in the chat as well, and Jennifer Tochi. Who's the Midnight Hour might be coming back more permanent, guys. We also had Brian in the chat, and Anthony Chobits, and I'm sure, and of course, I think there's a guy in a trench coat. He never leaves. Oh, and Cody was also in our chat as well. But I think there was a guy in a trench coat. I like to think
Peter Falk with his fucking eye falling out.
Yeah, he's
One
got a
more
hat
tin,
now,
one
and he's
more
got
tin.
a
Suck my
sexy.
dick. What the fuck? What the fuck, Columbo? Here,
Okay.
smoke my cigar. Jesus Christ! My God, you've infected
Woo.
me with fucking degeneratism. Jesus Christ!
Ooh. I don't know why. That's kind of hot.
I'm
Oh, sorry, we're not off yet.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing. That's it. There's a trap. Okay.
Crap.
I'm
But thank you guys for everyone for showing up. And again, like hopefully I can get this a little bit more, my internet a little bit more better, because I talks good. But
you talk all pretty and educatedized.
it
I'm
does.
actually what's on your channel at the moment? Any recent uploads?
I have a Tales from the Crypt, Cutting Cards, which I know is a beloved episode with a lot of people who are fans of Tales from the Crypt. So if you guys want to check that out, and I'm hoping to have the Faces of Death up fairly soon. I haven't had a chance to get to the theater, but I'm going to try to get to the theater this week. So, and Nanette says she just started following Dan's channel, so that's cool.
That's good. That's good.
What about you? What do you have something you just dropped on your channel?
I just dropped my pants.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
Christ Almighty. No, I done a review of Hawk the Slayer. I love that movie. It's not a great movie. It's not even a good movie, but I love that movie. If you get a chance, check it out. I give a quick review with no spoilers.
Unlike what we did tonight with this movie.
Oh, we fucking, between spoilers of this movie and sexually harassing each other, I think nothing was left to the imagination. Whoa! Hey, Cara. Cara just popped in there.
Hello. Don't think we're weird. We're about to end the stream. It has nothing to do with you. It's just timing. What was I going to say? I was going to say something to that. Oh, yeah, there's more to the imagination, but like that's why Marty doesn't have an icon because he don't have clothes on.
I do. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Dan says
Did
he
you
doesn't
just purr? You done your horny cat noise again?
I did not.
You fucking did. You're like,
thank you, Carl.
you did it again.
I did not. You're just gaslighting me. Okay, guys. Thank you for everyone for stopping by, or for people who are going to check this stream out a little bit later. Schweitz has been more craziness, yeah. But we thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be. I'll also, if you guys like live streams, I'll be a little bit more unhinged, or not. What's the opposite of unhinged, Marty? God, my words.
Your education ain't fucking playing out well. Coherent. She'll be a bit more coherent tomorrow on her hangouts.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about anthologies, and well, I know everybody's got some good ones. So definitely,
who's hosting tomorrow?
Monty G, the horror miser Monty G, will be hosting that. So go over and check out his channel tomorrow. I'll be on. So will the fabulous Trivial Theater, Sean Patrick Urshan, and we also have a very cool guest.
Cool beans.
So,
but yeah, guys, you're fucking all awesome for tuning in. You guys kick ass. Thanks a million.
Thank you guys so much. And with that, I think we're going to end it here. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Remember, keep watching and talking horror and watching people jump over bridges. It's important. Bye, guys.
Night.
Oh, and peanuts. Marty can't go. Peanuts. Bye. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And